Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
All right, time for a fact that makes your brain just go. And this was it today, that 46% of employees don't know this at the workplace. And to me, when I read this, it was terrifying. And Case guessed that it was where the fire exit is.
I think almost a majority of Americans don't know where the fire exits are. Now, this led to Matt from Hanover Park texting in. He said that he's going to pull the fire alarm for us because he wants to see the video of us arguing about which way to go. And also, think about what great exercise that would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
Part of our weight loss challenge.
Because you'd have to run to the fire exit.
Yeah.
Running, typically exercise. And then, even though you're going downstairs, stairs are hard work.
Oh.
So it's a double whammy.
It's a great workout. Also, I remember before I was married, happily married and in a relationship.
I don't know where this is going.
Well, a lot of people work like us in a big building with a lot of other offices in it. When there's a fire alarm test, everybody has to go outside. It's a great way to speed date. Because you usually see people you might have seen in the elevator, never had a chance to talk to, and you're kind of going like, opening line might be, so this is a real pain in the ass, isn't it? Hey, you want to just skip out and get some food? It's a great way to get an opener. I would love to know if one of our listeners ever met anybody during a fire drill, because I think it's an excellent new opportunity to change your life and get a relationship going.
Everybody's guards down during a fire drill.
Yeah, everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah, even as an adult, it feels like you're back in high school and you're up for some tomfoolery.
Absolutely. Also, before I give you the answer here on the 46% of not knowing this at work, Jeremy checked in and said 46% don't know who the boss is. That also is somewhat terrifying. And I believe there's a lot of places like that where people don't really know who's really in charge.
I've never been in a place where I haven't known exactly who's in charge at all times.
I have. Because I thought one person was in charge, and when I debated them on something going on at work, they were like, well, hey, that's above my pay grade. I think everybody's heard that phrase, above my pay grade. And wait, so if it's above your pay grade, then you're not really the boss, are you?
Yeah.
I want to talk to that guy.
That's actually one of my favorite lines when people start asking me questions about the show and what we're going to do and things like that. I go, it's above my pay grade. I don't know. You got to talk to somebody else about that.
Which leads to me, and then I say it's above my pay grade, too. All right, so 46% of employees don't know this at work. And this shocked me when I read this according to a new Gallup poll. 46% of employees don't know what's clearly expected of them at work. Meaning they don't really know what their job is.
I get that 1,000%.
That was terrifying to me. And this is at a 10-year low.
This statistic's gotten worse over time.
100%. Not 100%, because that literally, they say people have said in this poll, what am I even doing here at work? Obviously for a paycheck. But there's a Gallup poll that went through 46 know clearly what's expected of them. Only 31% feel engaged at work. That's a 10-year low. 17% feel, quote, actively disengaged. So it's raw dogging work, basically, just trying to go in. But I guess the high was, somewhere in a positive factor, over 50% at one point, but it's a 10-year low of knowing what you're supposed to do at work. I feel like in this job, I know what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, I don't.
You don't know what you're supposed to do.
No, and I've worked with you now for 5 years, and I would say for 4.5 of those years, I've been flying blind every day going like, God, I hope I can figure it out.
You ever wonder, some days the show just sounds a little awkward? Well, Case is a producer and has to help out with that content.
Executive producer.
In one of those days. Also, Case had multiple jobs at Q101 while he was here. He was part of the digital department. You were doing all different kinds of things. And I remember you coming into me one day and saying, like, they gave me all this responsibility, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
No, it's insane. And if I try to explain to somebody what my job is, it doesn't make any sense. My daily duties as I see fit are nonsensical.
I see my job is to come in here every day with a positive attitude and relate my life and give information and comedy to the masses to get ratings and bring in revenue to keep the lights on.
In short, your job is to rock the house.
I think that's exactly right. Rock the house. Because job descriptions in radio are really funny if you ever see them. If you ever look up a radio job, I love it when they say, must be great with social media. It's kind of like saying must be great at driving to work at that point. Because I understand being great with social media maybe in 2010, but it's not new.
Yeah.
It's just part of everything now. It shouldn't be having, I have to get good at social media before I apply for this job.
But you and I both know a lot of people that push back on that idea and go, I'm not posting on Facebook.
They do. I know. I don't get it. It's 2025 now, people. I also want to know if our listeners know what they're supposed to do at work.
I would love to know what you do for a living and what you think your job is. That'd be a fascinating poll today, 312-591-8300.
I would love to know if you're confused, but you go in, because I've always said, act like you're supposed to be there. That's how you can get raises and move up the ladder. Just fool people that you know what you're really doing.
This is how I rose up the ranks at Lids.
Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, I walked in like a badass. I said, give me that sewing machine. I'll sew whatever nickname you want on any of these hats. You want Sir Smokes-a-Lot stitched on the side of your Chicago Cubs hat? Give me the embroidery machine. I got you, big dog.
I'm still waiting for my Sir Smokes-a-Lot hat, my Cubs hat.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Today's fact that makes your brain go was that 46% of people in Chicago don't know what's clearly expected of them at work. And it's expanded to some people saying, I don't know what the hell is going on. I have this job, I go do it. For example, Rhett the pilot checked in. He says, pilot here, I know my job is to fly a plane from point A to point B, but I absolutely have no clue who my boss is. That is fascinating. That was part of it, where people didn't know who their boss is, too, in this situation.
So if you're a pilot, the most important part of your job is landing the plane. But are there times, like, who's the pilot coach? Do you have somebody you check in on who's like, hey, man, you got to get to Colorado quicker than that?
Well, I assume the towers. I assume the air traffic controllers. The co-pilot must do something. Speed up, slow down.
The co-pilot's just hanging out.
I don't know about that. I also... Who tells him where to go?
Oh, who does the pilot's schedule?
Because we've all been on a plane where the pilot goes, good afternoon, and we're flying to Cleveland today. I'm sorry, we're going to Des Moines. And they say it by mistake. Did someone say, hey, no, we're going to Des Moines? How soon do they know where they're going?
Yeah.
And then, because that determines how they know they're going to take off.
In what way? Wait, what do you mean by that?
Which runway? They face different directions.
Okay, all right.
So fascinated by pilots.
I'm realizing there's more to it than I thought. I thought you just looked snazzy and flew in the sky.
I'm not trying to steal a Louis C.K. bit, but we get on that plane and just figure everybody knows what's going on. I don't know if that's always the case. Rhett could tell us more someday if he wants to reveal his true identity, but go ahead on the text line case.
A Frankfurt mailman checked in and said he's a mailman. He controls the flow of information.
Well, damn right.
He then followed up and said, I would say 80% of mailmen don't know what they're doing.
What does that mean?
Now, I hate to sound ignorant, but mailman seems pretty simple. Take the mail, put it in the box. But then again, who tells the mailman where they're going?
I guess they have a route. I mean, they have a route every day.
We did see that in King of Queens, where Doug would always want a better route than the one that he had.
But here's the thing I've always wondered about mailmen. Is the mail in order of the houses they're going, or have to dig and try to find, okay, well, this is 2457 Main Street. Like, oh, that one's below this one over here.
And then who sorts that? That's a whole other job.
Good Lord.
Oh, my God. And we want to privatize this? This seems awful. Thank God it's a public service.
The fact was 46% of employees in Chicago don't know what's expected of them at work. Lou checked in from 630, and she says, I'm a vet tech. I feel like my job is self-explanatory, but sometimes I walk in and go, what the F am I doing? very, very relatable. Amanda's checking in. Ahoy, Amanda. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Ahoy.
How you doing?
Good. How are you this morning?
Excellent. So do you have a situation here? Do you know what you do and what you're doing, what you're supposed to do?
So my title is the executive director of a hospice company, and previously I was just a nurse, and then applied for a director of nursing position. So I had an ED who was ahead of me, and all I ever saw her doing was playing like Bubble Pop on her iPad and working her other job as a travel agent. So when I left that company and started my own company, and became the executive director, I basically go into work every day and make it up. And I lead a team of like 10 people and just like make it up every day and hope it works.
I assume it pays pretty well, huh?
Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of regulations, so as long as I just follow those rules that somebody else wrote for me, it's okay, I guess.
Well, keep on keeping on. Keep on trucking.
Executive
Right?
director is one of those job titles. It's a little bit like consultant, where it's so vague that I don't think anybody would ever be able to tell you that you're doing your job wrong, Amanda.
Like, what do you do? Everything.
She's Superwoman?
Everything. I put out fires, but everything's on fire, and I don't have enough water or fire extinguishers.
Well, listen, if it hasn't been said to you today, you're doing a great job.
That's right.
You're doing awesome.
Oh, thank you. You guys make my day every single day.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. I guess we're doing our job somewhat right.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Thanks, Amanda.
Absolutely.
Have a great one as executive director there. Just like keep going. Just pretend you're supposed to be there. Act like you're supposed to be there.
I like this text from 312. They said they still Google how to stay busy at work.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think of that.
Can you imagine having to Google how to do your job?
Interesting. The fact of, I think I could find things to keep me busy. It's hard here because it's all the 4 hours we're here. It's a race. We're all going. Every second's occupied the 4 hours we're on the air. Before the show, I know what to do too. After the show, we're trying to get out of here, but we have things to do afterwards. So it becomes like an 8 to 9 hour day, depending on what people think of. Oh, we come in here for 4 hours. 4 hours. What is it? 4 in the door. They used to say
yes.
in the old days in radio. 4 in the door, baby. Those old radio guys used to suck like that.
Yeah. No. Unfortunately, this job is a lot of work. It might surprise people to know that, but we really spend hours a day working on this show.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it? It's really hard to believe. Rich checked in for 815. Ahoy Morning Crew. This is Rich from Hersher. I am a service tech for a lot of major restaurants. Every day I fake it until I make it.
What is service tech?
I don't know. It sounds like he goes in and, to me, my first thought, he fixes the Coke machines, the pop machines.
Okay, so I was just thinking about handymen and how confusing that job must be because if I break something, I can just call a guy and he can figure it out. But if you're the guy that I call, you have to figure it out. The stakes are so high.
Well, it's the job.
But that sounds hard.
Yeah, I mean, some jobs are harder than others. That's clear. And some people need a skill set. I'm always fascinated with plumbers and electricians and HVAC people. There's an actual skill there. I get that. I can say, wow, you can do this. That's incredible. I wish I could.
Yes, because I can't do anything.
As someone pointed out yesterday, I just talk on the radio. Oh, God. 708 checked in. We're talking about 46% of employees don't know what's expected of them at work, and a lot of people, as we've seen, are faking it till they make it. 708, I teach a credit recovery class, and all the kids are working independently on the computer. So I just wander around and read books.
That sounds awesome.
That's a great job.
I wonder how you get to a job like that. I think about that we have like the concierge staff here at NBC Tower, the people that are always behind the front desk.
Yes.
How do you start doing that? What in you?
You want that gig?
I can't tell if it's a really good gig or a really bad gig, especially the people that, we see the same guy every night because he works the graveyard shift here, so he's here at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning when we come in. How do you end up with that job where your job is to sit at the desk at NBC Tower at 4 in the morning every day?
Maybe you should be more inquisitive and talk to them and say, how'd you get here?
Problem is, I've seen him every day for 5 years. I don't know his name.
It's too late to do it now.
It's too late.
You missed your window.
Too late. I see him every day.
I love these texts coming in and calls. 815 checked in, says, I'm a high school teacher. I tell people to shh, and if they can go to the bathroom all day, that's all I do. Shh.
That's a lot of power to be able to control who can and can't go to the bathroom.
Sean checked in, too, from 3 through 1. I'm an HVAC tech, and I, too, Google issues at work. I can't know everything.
I feel like you should, though.
If he's Googling in the middle of a crawl space to figure something out.
Doesn't make me feel good about the job you're going to do, Sean.
But also, there's a lot of new technology out there. I know people that worked on cars back in the day, and they can't work on a car now, they say, because they open the hood, and it's a lot more computers now under the engine, under the hood.
But do you think there's been advances in HVAC in our lifetime?
I hope so.
But what would be better?
Colder and warmer air. I don't know. 312-591-8300. Keep checking in on this. The fact today was 46% of employees in Chicago don't actually know what's clearly expected of them. And we're getting there with our people here, but keep earning that money. Here's Gil Curtis with your headlines.
This is not headline news. Starbucks will no longer allow people to use the restroom without buying anything. That announcement for those of you who see a Starbucks sign and think of going to the bathroom. Walmart updated its logo. It has a chunkier font. The change was made to reflect the fact that they have chunkier customers. A new survey shows the most trusted job in America is nurse, and the least trusted job is Diddy party planner. 1 in 5 members of Gen Z can't change a light bulb. However, 4 out of 5 boomers can't change a vape cartridge. So who's the idiot? And after announcing her split with her husband, Jessica Simpson put her Los Angeles home on the market. So get it while it's hot. Literally. This is not headline news.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Sports.
Speaking of my wife in Philadelphia, this was on my mind for the last 24 hours. If you were here yesterday listening at this time, my wife is from Philadelphia. So all of a sudden she drops on me, I can actually go to the Eagles-Rams game this weekend with some friends that we have there getting some tickets. I just need to get a flight, and the flights are expensive, but we built up some credit card points to buy a flight for free. That led to Kenzie bringing up that, my brother bought a snowmobile on a credit card, ended up in debt, had to move back home. Gave me the idea. I forgot about the brother part. I just said maybe I should buy a snowmobile last minute with all of our points, so Megan can't get a flight to Philly, and I can keep her home this weekend.
And a lot of people were really receptive to the idea of you buying a snowmobile. 847 on the text line says, I 100% support the snowmobile. Unmatched smiles per gallon, and it'll last longer than those playoff tickets.
It's an amazing, amazing answer to what a snowmobile is in most people's lives. I've never owned one. I've ridden them. They're fun. And I'd love to ride in here every day on a snowmobile down Lakeshore Drive with my snowmobile suit on and my goggles. Get some Oakley goggles. It'd be sweet.
And you'd have Aldi Coyote on the back of it.
Oh, I'd grow a mullet. It'd be amazing. It'd flow on the
true,
snowmobile.
yeah.
So, did I buy a snowmobile to block Megan from buying that flight to Philadelphia? Well, unfortunately, my wife has the Q101 app on her phone. She was listening in real time. Now, you can listen to the podcast on that Q101 app, but she was listening in real time and immediately bought the plane ticket. By the time we got to class with Kenzie, only a few minutes later. So she is going to Philadelphia, and she will be, and I'm happy for her. I'm really ecstatic that she's going to the game. Because the fun thing is, see, I'm not going. She couldn't get another ticket. She's going with our friends there. And, well, why don't you stay home with the baby and watch the baby? That way, otherwise we can't figure this out. Who can watch the kid? We have no one to watch the kid. So I'm stay home, watch the kid. I will watch the game with Harper on Sunday at 2 o'clock, Rams-Eagles, this Sunday at home while she's there with all of our friends there that I've made when I moved there for a little bit when I was exiled from Chicago radio. That's how I met my wife there in Philadelphia, and then I stole her and brought her back here to Chicago, where she should be, by the way. She's going to the game. And I have no points to buy a snowmobile, so I don't have a snowmobile either. It'd be better if she was going and I had a snowmobile.
Well, yeah, that'd be a perfect world.
That would be really fun.
Happy wife, happy Brian. Brian would have the snowmobile.
Right. I'd invite listeners. I'd take listeners on rides if I had a snowmobile this weekend.
Can you imagine taking the snowmobile through the Aragon for Twisted Christmas?
Oh.
Oh my God.
Well, that red line stop isn't done yet. I would pick people up at the Wilson stop.
That's right.
And go back and forth and drop them off at the Aragon. I would do that. I would do that for everybody, but I can't do it. It's gone. It didn't happen.
Oh,
so.
That's such a shame because I could see you with the GoPro on your helmet and I could see you making music videos to yourself on the snowmobile. What song comes to mind when you think about you on a snowmobile?
Absolutely. Let's Get a Party Going from Andrew WK.
Naturally. Natural. Stupid question. My bad.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q 101.
Now, before we get on the phones, continuing the conversation in sports about how I was going to take the last credit card miles we had points to buy a snowmobile to block my wife from buying a flight to Philadelphia to go to the Eagles-Rams game without me. I failed in that attempt. She got the flight before me. She's going to the game this weekend. So I'm going to be home watching the baby, watching the game on TV. But people then checked in, Brian, you can still get a snowmobile Pretty easy. Go to Facebook Marketplace.
And I think the entire community, Chicagoland at large, wants you to have a snowmobile because you mentioned that the Lawrence Red Line stop right in front of the Aragon is still under construction. So you said if people get off at Wilson, you would snowmobile them to the Aragon. Well, 773 checked in. Andy from Chicago, first-time texter. All he said was snowmobile plus Uber equals snoober.
Oh, no.
Andy, here's the deal. We have a verbal trademark on that. We will take you to IP court if you try to act on this business. That is ours now. We own that. That is ours.
Now, here's the thing, though. Is my generosity to our listeners is unprecedented. I would ride you for free.
You would ride him for free?
Wait, that sounded weird. I'll give you a ride from Wilson to Lawrence for free to the Aragon. Not just for Twisted, but to all the shows when there's snow on the ground to the Aragon.
But what about in the summer?
Yeah, we can walk together. I'll go meet you. We'll walk over there.
Right.
So I found a snowmobile on Facebook Marketplace as recommended by our listeners. Now, I don't know anything about snowmobiles, but this just got marked down, so it intrigued me. From $2,250 to $1,750. It's a 2000 Arctic Cat ZR 700.
Okay, Arctic Cat, I grew up with a four-wheeler. That was that brand. That's a good brand.
It's lime green, which I like.
Badass. Holy cow.
Now, should I buy this? And someone else recommended we're going to start a GoFundMe so you can get a snowmobile. I appreciate you. Maybe help out the LA fire people first and then get me a snowmobile. But the description is 2000 Arctic Cat ZR 700, okay? That sounds good so far. FYI, no electric start. Does that mean I kickstart it like an old mini bike?
I don't know.
If there's no electric start,
You don't seem like a kickstart guy to me.
I used to on mini bikes. It says also no reverse !
So that's a problem.
Do all snowmobiles have reverse?
I would think so.
It says excellent condition ! All caps ! Saying great trail sled. I guess, is Lakeshore Drive a trail? Because that's where I'm going to ride it.
Well, anything is a trail if you want it to be. A trail is up to the driver's interpretation.
I don't understand what 4K Northern, it looks like WI, so Wisconsin, I assume. 4K Northern Wisconsin?
Sure.
4,000 miles maybe?
That sounds
in
right.
Northern Wisconsin. Here's the one I don't like. I'm not sure I understand this. Maybe a snowmobile expert can tell me. It says groomed trail miles. I don't like the word groomed in there.
It was an R. Kelly snowmobile?
I don't think I want a groomed snowmobile. It's a broken one. I don't know. Well, let me know what that description sounds like if I should buy that snowmobile, and I'll give you guys rides to Twisted this year.
Final update on the snowmobile. 847 checked in. So if it doesn't have an electric start, he says you have to pull start it and, quote, it's a bitch.
So it's like a lawnmower start.
Yeah.
Old school lawnmowers.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Well, some significant stuff has dropped as far as we've had a lot of concert announcements coming up in several months in 2025. And some big ones, of course, happened. And Nine Inch Nails alluded that they're going to have a tour. Now, they did tweet this out. Since some tour dates and information about our world tour have leaked, we are confirming that, yes, we will be touring and provide more details soon. We are all watching the devastation that's hit and unfolding in California and have paused our announcement while people try to deal with all that is happening. Because, there's been a lot of ripping of people that have gone on like everything's normal with all of Hollywood burning. And a lot of musicians live out there, of course, or a lot of people that have the power in the music business. And a lot of pausing. Yeah, it's fine if we wait a week or two to find out where Nine Inch Nails is playing in Chicago. It's not drastic.
It's exciting that they're playing, though.
I'm stoked.
That's good news. Yeah.
I actually haven't seen them in a while. I've missed the last couple times they've come around, and I love so much my memory of Nine Inch Nails at the Congress Theater back in the day, which allegedly is reopening. There's been some money put toward the old Congress Theater. I don't know. That information came out in 2024, but then it goes silent. It goes dark, and then we never hear about it again. Amazing venue back in the day. So Nine Inch Nails will be touring. No Chicago date. What we do have is a Chicago date.
No Chicago date yet.
No Chicago date yet. Correct. They are coming. And we had yesterday Coheed and Cambria and Taking Back Sunday announced August 19th at Northerly Island. More shows coming and announced about Northerly Island coming in. Man, you can keep up on Q101.com with all of this.
Isn't it exciting that as we sit here and talk right now, it's 5 degrees outside, but we now have summer tour concert announcements that are starting. Like we're going to get through it. It's going to be okay. It's cold right now, but we're all going to be at Northerly Island before you know it.
I thought you were going to pull out, we're all in this together.
Is that a famous quote?
That was a big time during the pandemic. We're all in this together.
Unprecedented times.
Yeah.
Our company cares about you.
Yeah, listen, and we do.
Yeah.
But
we do.
A lot of other people didn't
No,
care
no, no,
about you. No, we care about you a lot.
No, but it's so exciting to have these summer tours announced. This is a great show. Coheed, Taking Back Sunday, and then the opener, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the opener.
Oh, boy.
It's a band called Foxing. And if you like Taking Back Sunday or Coheed and Cambria, I got news for you. You're going to like Foxing. The thing with this band is, if you ask music critics, people that write about music for a living, they'd be like, Foxing is the best band of the 21st century. No one is on their level. They're the greatest thing to ever exist. Of course, when they headline shows, they play to like 400 people. So the word hasn't really gotten out there about the band Foxing, but they are opening that show. They are awesome. That's going to be a great time at Northerly Island.
So the next time that band comes around and they sell out the Metro, all those fans will say they, quote, sold out and they're not cool anymore.
I would love it if Foxing would sell at the Metro. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, great band. Some of the nicest guys in music. I've never heard anybody say a bad word about them. Nobody else has gotten the message that they're great other than people paid to write about music.
So to give Case, the producer, some props here.
Okay.
He was the first one to tell me about Turnstile about 4 years ago.
That's right.
He certainly introduced me to Knocked Loose as well in the past year.
Yep.
He certainly is first on all these bands more than anybody else in the city. So remember, you heard about Foxing here first on the show. So when they sell at the Metro, you can say, I knew about them when they were in grade school. You can say that and be cool and keep your street cred up because Case told you about Foxing.
There you go. Well, summer concerts, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm ready for all of that. Tinley Park, Northerly Island, get me outdoors, get me in a park somewhere, give me some music.
Well, we've already mentioned, the Rise of the Roach tour with Rise Against and Papa Roach in Tinley Park. And, of course, August is already jammed with Lollapalooza at the beginning. And at the end, you've got Oasis at Soldier Field. You've got My Chemical Romance the next day at Soldier Field. Then you get a day break. And then Sunday and Monday of that weekend, System of a Down, 2 shows at Soldier Field.
Good Lord.
We're not going to get out of it. I think the Earth ends at the end of August in 2025. At least Chicago's going to fall in the lake. We're all just going to fold over and just fall in.
You might as well end with System of a Down.
Oh.
That is, in a way, System of a Down is our Titanic band. They will play as Chicago craters into the center of the earth.
Going like, wake up! It won't be quite the violins on the Titanic.
A little different.
Finally, TikTok is reportedly scheduled, we've talked about this for months, to immediately shut down Sunday if the U.S. Does not unban it. So basically the Supreme Court said it will be banned and it will go down. I just feel like this isn't getting talked about and maybe no one cares out there because I feel like if it was maybe a different platform, if it was Instagram or Facebook, it'd be talked about a little more. Now, a lot of people make a living. A lot of our listeners, we know about this, can make a living on TikTok doing various tasks. And I worry about them. I worry about them losing their income. Now, they say if a U.S. buyer comes in last second, swoops in, it will stay open. For example, I've heard that Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank is putting together a group of other billionaires to buy it.
Yeah, the bald guy.
The bald guy.
The older bald guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love Mr. Wonderful.
Well, he's mean.
That's why I love him. He's real. He's honest. If Mr. Wonderful bought TikTok, that would be incredible.
So, Brian, maybe you can explain this to me, and if not, I'm sure somebody on the text line can. 312-591-8300. TikTok is going away because they're owned by a Chinese company. And what? We don't like the information that they have on us?
Well, they're mining your privacy information through TikTok all the time and things that you share, by the way, the people that you are a friend with, if you want to call it that, or you're following with. They aggregate all of it, allegedly. Now, we don't know exactly what's going on. The funny thing is they say if TikTok goes away, they've recommended new apps to jump on, and they're all Chinese-owned.
That's super funny.
So why don't we just keep TikTok? I can't make a new profile. I'm done making profiles. I'm tired of it.
You're out of passwords.
I'm done.
So, okay, so I understand that. And this is where if I'm out of line, if I'm incorrect factually or in your opinion, you tell me. But if we're worried that China is allegedly mining all of our information, isn't our government doing the same thing to us? Don't they have everything? Aren't they listening to our phone calls? Why are we concerned about China? We should be looking in the mirror. I don't understand.
Well, because our government doesn't provide us with really cute dance videos. And TikTok does. Well, we care more about TikTok than our government taking our stuff.
Oh, my goodness. Where is the stimulus plan that gives us $600 a month in cute dance videos on demand?
Listen, there's a lot of nice stuff on there. We'll pour one out Monday morning if TikTok's gone. I've also heard Mr. Beast is putting together a group possibly to try to buy it Elon Musk's name, but he's already refuted that, saying that's not true, which means it's probably true. I don't know. It's wild, but it could all come to a big end on Sunday. We'll pour one out for TikTok.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.